Tonight on CTV News, a High Court judgment paves the way for flood-affected victims to get a payout from the EQC. Canterbury farmers face a tough season ahead, and the State Services Commissioner says sorry.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening to you. The Earthquake Commission's been given the green light to settle thousands of land claims by paying out the loss of value to land. The High Court has released its decision into EQC's policy for identifying and settling properties in the increased flooding vulnerability land damage category. Laney lawyer Duncan Webb, representing the Flockton Cluster Group, told Newstalk ZB's Christchurch newsroom it means EQC now has to develop the procedures and policies it's going to use to assess what land is flood vulnerable and how much it's going to pay.
The High Court has given the green light to EQC to settle thousands of claims of homes where land has been devalued because of flood vulnerability. Residents affected include those in the Flockton Basin who were forced to abandon their homes after the March floods, which swamped most parts of the city. The Earthquake Commission was seeking approval for the formula it had chosen to compensate residents in a bid to head off any future legal action. The judge found increased flood vulnerability was like natural disaster damage to land, which the Commission should compensate for by remediation or payment. The Commission is obliged to either repair damage or make the proper payment, and homeowners are entitled to sue EQC in the same way they would sue any ordinary insurer. The decision affects 9,000 potential IFV customers in Christchurch, with another 4,500 potential IFV properties in the red zone. Today's decision follows a hearing in October after the Commission sought a declaratory judgment to test the way it hopes to settle more than 13,500 land claims. The decision's been called a positive outcome for EQC customers by the Earthquake Commission's Chief Executive. EQC is hoping to begin settlements in 2015.
It looks as if it could be a shaky season ahead for Canterbury farmers following Fonterra's decision to reduce its farm gate prices, reflecting slower demand from China.
It's forecast to be the lowest payout in 7 years, hitting farmers straight in the back pocket. Fonterra's slashed next season's payout to $4.70 per kg of milk solids, while down on last year when farmers were receiving $8.40. The low payout comes after an ongoing slide in global dairy prices. In June, Fonterra announced it would pay out $7, but that steadily dropped throughout the year. Fonterra's chairman John Wilson says it's a case of supply being greater than demand. Good weather and strong milk prices at the beginning of the year created an enormous supply in the United States, Europe and New Zealand, flooding the market with milk powder and leaving the prices rapidly dropping. After today's announcement, Fonterra says it's now tightening its belt just as farmers will be, undertaking a targeted program to generate more cash to support farmers. The dairy giant's going to be strengthening tight controls on operating expenditure and driving harder on working capital. Fonterra says there's still a sense of uncertainty and it's advising farmers to continue to be cautious with budgeting. The Ministry of Primary Industries announced a loss of $4.2 billion for the sector. The latest release of figures shows $34.6 billion was generated from exports in the past year, down from $38 billion.
The State Services Commissioner has said sorry for his role in the press conference announcing Roger Sutton's resignation last month. He's described the conference as messy.
It was a press conference that was doomed to fail. Speculation was rife that Sarah Chief Executive Roger Sutton was due to resign over allegations of sexual harassment. However, the press conference that followed has been criticised from city leaders, including the Prime Minister. Finally, more than 3 weeks after the incident, the State Services Commissioner, Ian Rennie, has apologised for the messy press conference, which gave Roger Sutton a platform to talk, but left the victim anonymous and underrepresented. In the press conference, Sutton described his conduct as sexist language and hugs and jokes. Rennie, the Department of Prime Minister, and Cabinet Chief Executive Andrew Kibblewhite were all present as Sutton spoke. The Public Service Association is now welcoming the acknowledgement by Ian Rennie that he made a mistake holding a joint press conference with Roger Sutton. Rennie has acknowledged his mistake for the first time publicly in a speech on integrity in the public service given to PSA members in Wellington today. He then told gathered media that the press conference should never have happened. However, he is not planning to resign over the incident. He won't step down from his role until his contract ends in mid-2016. PSA National Secretary Richard Wagstaff says by holding a joint press conference with Sutton, the State Services Commission gave Sutton an opportunity that was denied to the complainant. A statement released today acknowledges that Mr Rennie's actions could leave public servants with less confidence to come forward in the future. The PSA is supporting the decision to create consistent bullying and harassment policies across the entire public service by next April. Rennie also said that Sutton would have soon been out of his job as Chief Executive of the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority if he had chosen not to resign.
So what to do with the red zone areas of Christchurch is a question many of us ask as we drive past these particular areas, and even on the east, of course. Well, now a top-level report has made a recommendation.
It was at the Antarctic Centre in Christchurch that the local government and Environment Select Committee heard from representatives who were pushing for a river park to be built in the east. Now, almost 3 years after receiving that petition, the Select Committee has reported its recommendation back to the House. The Select Committee simply notes the progress with the Avon River Precinct in the central city and Sarah's intention to consult with the community on the future of red zone lands. The Avon or Takaro group says the Avon River Precinct works as a good start. However, the network's focus remains the creation of a river park that extends beyond Fitzgerald Avenue throughout the full length of the lower Avon residential red zone from city to sea. In March 2012, the Avon or Takaro network presented a petition to Parliament with over 18,000 signatures. Avon supporter Peggy Kelly spent hours binding the pages of the petition into 2 beautifully presented volumes. This was followed in May 2012 by a written submission and a deputation before the Select Committee. The petition asked that the House of Representatives work with the people and local authorities of Christchurch to ensure that the Avon River Red Zone becomes a reserve and a river park when the homeowners have to leave. The Avon Group also notes that the reference in the report to Sarah having already canvassed the public refers only to the Waimakariri Red Zone, not the Christchurch Red Zones.
Still to come, we're another step closer to a Christchurch earthquake memorial.
Arts 21 showcases the vast creative talent and minds that are making a name for themselves in Europe and beyond. Think outside the square with Arts 21.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company.
Oi! I'm selling my home with Gavin Top of Harvey's because I know he'll get me the best possible price. Gavin even guarantees it. His buyer's price declaration guarantee gives me confidence, knowing I'll get the best possible price for my house. I know I can trust him because he listens to what I want to achieve and goes the extra mile to get great results. If you want to get Gavin's highest possible price guarantee like I am, give him a call or take a look at his website and he'll get you sold.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood, we're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood, what drives you?
Canterbury Live coming to you daily at 4:30. It's all about what's happening in your region, Canterbury, what's hot, what's not, and much more. Canterbury Live.
Welcome back to CTV News. SCIRT, the Stronger Christchurch Infrastructure Rebuild team, is saying goodbye to its founding General Manager Duncan Webb later this month. SCIRT was set up to repair Christchurch's broken horizontal infrastructure following the earthquakes. Halfway through its workload, SCIRT will soon be headed by Ian Campbell, who has been promoted internally. Well, if you're considering getting fit next year as part of your New Year's resolution, chances are you'll be combing the internet for a decent gym in Canterbury. And as Emma Cropper reports, sometimes small doesn't always count.
At this gym, size doesn't matter. In fact, being small has its advantages.
Fast uppercuts, 30 seconds.
Despite having less than 300 members, this fitness centre's beaten top gyms nationwide for innovation.
What are people missing out in the gym industry or the fitness industry, and what can we do better to make it more professional?
They've developed this PT Success software. It supports personal trainers and gyms to be sustainable in the industry and helps members during their workouts.
If I design a program, like a workout program or a nutrition program for my client, they have a dashboard on their phone. So they can just bring it up here and their workouts and nutrition and everything stored on here. So if they don't know an exercise, or an exercise in the program, they can click on it and it'll come up with a video or pictures of what the exercises are.
The judges believe this tool could change the industry, potentially raising the professionalism of personal training. The city centre gym also picked up New Zealand's best small club, but the road to success hasn't been easy. It's business owners taking a gamble to open up the centre. They were left jobless when the 2011 earthquake destroyed their former workplace.
When I talk to people about that, they always say, oh, it's pretty risky, what if it doesn't work? And what if it doesn't? We were still pretty young at the time, it didn't really matter so much.
Opening their venture in the heart of the city, while quake-devastated businesses were being demolished.
For us, we'd never started a business before the earthquake, so I don't know if it's actually different, but yeah, starting any business is definitely tough.
This gym truly proving size doesn't matter when it comes to taking on some of the nation's best. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
You know it's springtime when native animals start breeding, and today 3 new Kia entered the world at Orana Park.
3 rowdy Kia chicks will move on public display for the first time at Orana Wildlife Park. The 3-month-old birds have recently fledged and, along with their parents, will be moved to the park's aviary. Their head keeper says the park's delighted with the progress of the chicks, which are almost the same size as their parents. They're starting to use their wings, and once in the aviary, they will have a larger space to fly, meaning there will probably be a few crash landings. Kia are only found in New Zealand's Southern Alps. They're classified as a nationally threatened species, and estimates of their wild population range from 1,000 to 5,000 birds. One way local people can assist in Kia conservation is by not feeding the birds, slowing down on roads as these magnificent parrots can sadly become a roadkill, and ensuring equipment is secure when entering Kia territory.
6 designs have been shortlisted for the Canterbury Earthquake Memorial. The $10 million memorial, built on the Avon riverbank, will honour the 185 people who died in the Canterbury earthquakes. After receiving 330 submissions from 37 countries, Sarah's steering group worked with the victims' families to choose the designs.
Nearly 4 years on from the February 2011 earthquakes, and progress is being made on developing the Earthquake Memorial. The top 6 designs are still under wraps, but they will be unveiled next year, giving locals a chance to voice their opinions. The $11 million Canterbury Earthquake Memorial will be built here on the banks of the Avon River, between the Montreal Street Bridge and Durham Street. The memorial will honour the lives of those who died in Canterbury's earthquakes, as well as acknowledging the shared trauma of Cantabrians. It will recognise those who participated in the rescue and recovery operation after the earthquake. The government, Christchurch City Council and Otahu invited memorial ideas from around the world, and more than 330 submissions were received from 37 countries. Spokesperson Michelle Mitchell says the standard of the design submissions was high. She says any one of them could become a powerful symbol of remembrance and recognition. The submitted designs were evaluated by a panel made up of arts professionals, experts in architecture and landscape architecture, and a participant from the victims' families. The shortlisted designs have been shared with bereaved families and those seriously injured in the earthquakes. The people behind the 6 shortlisted designs have now been invited to further develop their concepts before presenting them again to the bereaved families and seriously injured, and then to recovery leaders and finally the wider public. After receiving feedback from these groups, the evaluation panel will then make a recommendation on its preferred design to a memorial leadership group. This group is made up of the Associate Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery, the Mayor of Christchurch, Ngāi Tahu's Kai Whakahaere, and the Minister for Arts, Culture and Heritage. The final decision on the memorial design rests with the Associate Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery, Nikki Wagner.
Well, if you're over Christmas before it's even started, perhaps you are. Well, Marcus Gibbs, our reporter, went out to the streets of Christchurch to find out if residents are.
It's the festive time of year, and advertisers and shops have been showing off their Christmas decorations and presents since November. You can't miss the traditional Christmas music or the specials in the paper. There's no way to escape the Christmas magic. But with weeks of advertising, in some cases starting last month, what kind of a mood are the crowds of shoppers clamouring to get their present buying done before Christmas Eve? Do they find the music and advertising frustrating, or do they embrace Christmas?
Thought it would be a wee bit busier, but no, it's not too bad out there.
Just everything you got to do, all your shopping and the advertising, the junk mail, the whole shooting box.
I hate Christmas anyway.
Are you over Christmas already?
I can't really get into it, to be honest.
I haven't even realised it's so close until I realised next week's the last week of work. Looking forward to it. It's a great time of year.
A massive pain, especially when you're trying to work, and we're doing big hours at work, so it's just a rush and a pain to do everything regarding Christmas.
I was sick in November, it's just, there's too much.
Yeah, I'm organised though. I've got all my Christmas presents bought, and so no, I'm not sick of Christmas.
Yeah, it's great, family time, celebration, it's a happy time.
Though we're decorating stuff in October, so it's a bit early.
It's a bit of waste of money.
Oh, it's a bit crazy in there, isn't it? A couple of kids to buy presents for, and I've got as far as one new fishing rod for me. That's it.
So there you have it, a few Christmas Grinches, but there are still some Cantabrians who embrace the magic of Christmas.
Still to come, your region's weather.
Make a date every Thursday night. The Owl and the Pussycats have returned. I'm the Owl and the women will be the panel. Make sure you get your letters and correspondence in and we'll answer your queries every Thursday, 8:30 here on CTV.
Blackwells has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwells your #1 choice. Visit Blackwells today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn, or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to Staywell Pharmacy. At Staywell Pharmacy we do more than just dispense prescriptions. If you're looking for a new perspective on your health options from a qualified health professional, then come in and see us. We have 2 private consultation rooms where you can discuss your health needs with our team in confidence. We combine the best of the health food shop and a pharmacy to give you a holistic approach. For a new direction in your future health, call us for an appointment. Staywell Pharmacy. Live well, stay well.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
Welcome back to CTV News. Well, China's Canterbury-based consulate is just 3 months old, but apparently it's achieved quite a lot. Take a look at this.
To celebrate his 3 months on the job, China's Consul General to Canterbury, Jin Zhejian, says he would continue to push for more flights between China and Christchurch. The government announced last month there will be 1,100 more flights between Auckland and Chinese cities from 2015. But it's upset local tourism promoters, who have lobbied hard to take advantage of growing Chinese tourists visiting the South Island. Jin Zhejian says it's Chinese airlines that need to be more aware of the growing passenger business in the South Island. He says this market demand will increase flights to Canterbury. While there's an increase generally of higher-end Chinese tourists, more adventure tourists are also arriving. He says Queenstown is currently considered the star city in the South Island, known to many Chinese, but Canterbury is becoming increasingly explored, especially by tourists using camper vans. Overall, Chinese tourism has increased by 60%, and they have 74% more than the previous year. Only 5% of Chinese have passports, but Jin Zhejian says this is likely to grow in the coming years, boosting the already 100 million Chinese tourists going abroad. He says attracting more investment into Canterbury, especially with the rebuild, is also a priority. As the local Chinese resident population grows, he says the consulate's role here is also to better integrate immigrants with the local culture. This extends to the education sector, with 6,000 Chinese now studying locally, growing by 5% from last year. Sister city partnerships between China and New Zealand are also on the grow, with 4 mayoral visits coming to Christchurch last year. Jin Zhejian emphasises that although China's growth has slowed over the last year to about 7.5%, it has been riding at 10% since 1978. He says this is what China now considers the new normal. One thing that hasn't changed, however, is China's central rule of law policy. Jin Zhejian says the Chinese society ruled by law is very important, and the government is still very serious about this issue.
13 police officers in Ashburton and Timaru have been acknowledged for their long service awards. Canterbury Police District Commander Superintendent Gary Knowles presented the awards in front of staff, family and friends at the two centres. 13 recipients received medals, badges recognising their long service for up to 35 years. Well, the local labour market is heating up, set to close out the year on a strong note than in 2013. The data released today reveals from the seek.co.nz ad index saw a rise of almost 8% from the same time last year, driven by an increase of supply of jobs and, of course, Canterbury, which grew by 4% from November 2013. That's compared to October growth was flat in November itself. Typical for this time of year as businesses wind down before the summer break weather. Well, now time for the region's weather.
Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine hit a high of 14 degrees. Methven and Ashburton 14 degrees. Rakaia, same for you, 14. Darfield, Leiston and Rolleston also hit a mild high of 14. Lincoln and Christchurch, hope you've been keeping warm, hitting just a high of 14. Over in Akadawa, they had the low of the region with 13 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, a mild 14. Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot hit one of the region's highs of 14. At the top in Kaikoura, 14 degrees today. What about tomorrow? In Timaru, mostly cloudy and cold with northeasterly winds. 8 degrees overnight, 14 throughout your day. Ashburton, another cloudy and cold day, but mostly dry with northeasterly breezes. 8 degrees overnight, reaching 14 during the day. Christchurch, a cool northeasterly breeze and lots of low cloud for your Thursday, hitting a low of 8 degrees and a high of 14 degrees. At the top in Kaikoura, mostly cloudy and cold with northeasterly winds, 8 degrees overnight, 14 throughout your day. In other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine expect an overnight low of 7 and a high of 15. Methven and Rakaia, cloudy for most parts of the day with a high of 14 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Wollaston, 8 degrees overnight, reaching just 14 throughout your day. Looking at Lincoln, 14 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, cloudy in the morning, reaching 14 and 8 overnight. Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot, a cloudy day in store with a high of 14. Looking ahead for Canterbury, cloudy on Friday and Saturday with some scattered light showers, mostly during the evenings. Expect moderate cold southerly winds as well as showers, but then clearing on Saturday night with ground frosts possible. Fine and sunny on Sunday with moderate northeasterlies. High cloud increasing on Monday with moderate northeasterly winds. Cloud increasing on Tuesday with northeasterlies freshening. Expect rain to develop late in the day. And that's all for your region's weather this evening.
And that's CTV News for Wednesday. Have a great evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.